My name is Francesca Nicole. Welcome to my YouTube channel. As you can see by the title, this is an NCLEX video. So if you are interested in knowing about my NCLEX experience and how I challenge my LPN boards, stay tuned. I'm going to start from the beginning. I graduated in 2015 from the RN program. Shortly after that, I tried to prepare myself for the boards. The first time I took my NCLEX exam was in July. I graduated in May. I took my test for the first time in July, and I really didn't study, honestly. I thought that, okay, I just graduated the nursing program. I'm smart enough. I can just go in and take this test. It's not that hard. People are over-exaggerating. It's not, yeah. So, dummy, I went in thinking that I was just gonna go in and pass this test without really studying. I studied a little bit. I won't lie, I studied a little bit, not nearly enough to pass this test. So I went in nervous. I prayed before I went in, y'all. I prayed, I really did. And I was like, Lord, I know you're gonna make me pass. I know you're gonna let me pass. I went in, took the test, and y'all, when I got done, I think I took all 275, 200 and whatever, I don't know, all of them. I took all of the questions, and it's like when I got up, I was like, girl, you just passed. And then I was like, nah, no you didn't. Like, I sat in my car. Before I left that place, I sat in my car for the longest, and I was like, yeah, I didn't pass. That was awful. I was not prepared at all. So you know, you have to wait before you can find out the results of your test. And sure enough, I failed. Yeah, I cried like a baby. I cried. My husband and my mother, they consoled me, and you know, pretty much told me not to give up. I could take it again. It's gonna be all right. So it took me a minute. I waited 7 months. If I'm looking now because I wrote this down. Okay, I kind of got a little timeline because it's a lot, y'all. Y'all be prepared. Be prepared. 7 months later, in February 13th of 2016, I took my test again. Now this time, I went on YouTube trying to see what everybody else used to pass all this blase. I saw a few videos of people saying, oh, I just got the what is it called, the Saunders NCLEX book, that big book that you get. Well, we got it in our nursing program, and I went through it a little bit during the program, but in the end, once I saw that video, I'm like, I'm gonna use this book. It's a big book. After every section, it has a few questions and blase. So I was like, I'm gonna use this. This is gonna help me pass. So I read that book. After every section, I did all of the questions. And as you gotta listen to yourself. You gotta listen, really, you really do. As I was doing those questions, being that I had already taken the NCLEX, I already know the type of questions that are gonna be on the NCLEX. I went through those questions and I'm like, these questions are really easy. They aren't as difficult as the questions that I've done on the NCLEX. But silly me, I still continue to read that whole entire, that's a big book. I read that whole entire book front to back. I did every question. I did that whole little section in the back where you got the whole, yeah. So February, I went in and I took that test again, y'all. I don't remember how many questions I got, but I was a little bit more confident. I guess because YouTube said if I read that book, I was gonna pass. Lies. I failed again, y'all. This time, I thought I was gonna have a nervous breakdown. Honestly, I did. Like, hold on. Honestly, I was flabbergasted. Like, oh my God, I'm a dummy. I'm so dumb. Like, I went all the way through this nursing program, and I can't pass the NCLEX. Like, I'm worthless. Yeah, I was sad. And my husband and my mom, they still were like, it's okay, it's all right, you're gonna pass, just try it again. And I was like, this is it, I'm a dummy, and that's it. So it took me a while. No, not really. 3 months later, on May 21st, 2016, and y'all, I'm kind of superstitious, so I thought that since I graduated in May of the year before, that because it was May coming around again, that I should take it in May because I was gonna pass, just because that was the same month that I graduated. I don't know, but this time around I found out about Hearst Review. I'm pretty sure you've heard of it. It's pretty familiar. I did Hearst Review, and again, I thought that I was gonna pass. Y'all, this is gonna be long. You're like, dang girl, you ain't passed yet. This time number 3, you ain't passed yet. Chill. Don't do me like that. But anyway, I did Hearst Review, and I just knew I was gonna pass, y'all. I did it. I studied. I really did. I did everything they told me to do. I did. I went in and I took that test again. Y'all know I felt like an idiot when I walked up there to that test center. When I walked up to the desk, the guy that gives you all the information you sign, I guess what that man said, oh, you're back again. Like, really? I'm looking around like, you really doing that in front of all these people? Everybody don't need to know I've been here for the 3rd time. They don't need to know that. I was ashamed. But anyway, I went in and I was confident again, thinking that I was gonna pass. And guess what, y'all? For the 3rd time, I failed the NCLEX. And I live in Florida, so the rules in Florida are, once you fail the NCLEX 3 times, you have to do a remediation. So at this point, I'm like, I cannot do this. If anybody's done research on remediations, I know the ones that I looked up, you have to pay, like, I see some $1,200, $1,500, $2,000. I gotta do clinical hours all over again. I'm like, I graduated nursing school. I had enough of clinical hours. I'm sick of it. I am not doing this again. So I prayed, y'all, and you know, God puts people in your life for a reason. I met this gentleman. I was working with him, and yes, I'm gonna say his name because I love him. His name is Dayon. Listen, he has a similar story to mine, and he just was so inspirational, just telling me not to give up. Like, he used to always say, we gonna get this, like, we gonna pass this test. And it was just what I needed at the time, because when you're discouraged, it's so helpful to find someone that's going through something similar to you, and that's gonna inspire you. And that's what he did. And he was telling me, listen, that all I had to do was register in another state, and I don't have to do remediation. I was like, what? Then I'm gonna have a license for another state, and I can't work in Florida with the whatever state license. He was like, no, you just register in Georgia, which is what I did. I registered in Georgia, and I took the NCLEX right here in Florida, same place right here in Gainesville that I took it the other times. And all I had to do, if I passed, was to pay $110, I think, and transfer my license to Florida. Y'all probably can hear my dog barking. He's awful. So that's what I did. I registered for the test. I registered for the state of Georgia, and in November 17th of 2016, I took the test again. Y'all take a deep breath with me because it's coming again. Guess what? I failed again. Yep, that's what happened. I failed again. I was so ready to give up. Honestly, I was. I feel like I had tried everything. I had done everything, and it was just awful. It took me 4 months. I registered again. In March 7th of 2017, I took my NCLEX again, y'all. This time I used what is it called? Kaplan. I used Kaplan. I heard everybody talking about Kaplan, about how great it was. So I tried Kaplan. And for the 5th time, 5 times, I failed my NCLEX again. At this point, y'all, I was done. I had prayed to Jesus and I told him that I'm going to find something else that I love, which I had no clue what that would be at that point. But I just told myself that this is not what God has for me. Clearly, because I can't pass the test. But I don't know, something came over me and I was just like, come on, try it again. I just couldn't give up. So in April of 2018, y'all, a year and a month later, I waited a whole year and a month later. That's a long time. So as you can imagine, it took a while for me to get back in the groove. So a year and a month later, I took my RN NCLEX again. And this time, honestly, I think I used Kaplan again. I said I was going to try it again. I used Kaplan again, and I failed. And honestly, that was my last time that I took the RN NCLEX. Yes, I took the RN NCLEX 6 times and failed every last one of them. So it took me a while, and at this point I was just online looking in nursing blogs and on YouTube, just trying to see what else I could do. And I stumbled across a video. I don't know who it was made by. I don't know, it was so long ago. I saw people talking about how when they failed their RN NCLEX, they challenged the LPN boards. I was like, what? I didn't know you can do that. So I did some research and I applied. This time I applied for the state of New York. I don't remember why, but I did. I applied in the state of New York for my LPN license. And I was just thinking, like, I just need to move a step ahead. Like, I gotta do something different. At this point in my life, I was a nursing assistant. I had been a nursing assistant for like 6 or 7 years. I did not plan to be in that area for that long. But there was nothing else I could do. I couldn't pass my test, so I was just stuck there. And I was just like, I just gotta do something different. I gotta do something. So I challenged my LPN boards. I did the application. It took forever for it to get approved. I had to call them like, hey, what's the hold up? Is my application being processed? What's going on? So they finally approved my application, and I set my test date. This was 6 months after I failed my RN NCLEX. They finally approved it. I got my ATT. I got my test date, which was October 24th of 2018, y'all. And for this NCLEX go round, I did I heard about UWorld. I heard so many good things about UWorld, but I kept saying to myself, that's what everybody says. Every NCLEX review says that, oh, you're guaranteed to pass if you do this. And at this point, I'm like, is it me? Is it the NCLEX reviews, or is it just me? Am I just a dummy? What is it? What is it? And I'm gonna say this: when I was in nursing school, I was a big procrastinator. If I had a test, I never studied like way ahead of time. I was like an overnighter. Like, I would stay up all night. Once I got out of class that night, I would stay up and study, cram. I know it's not good. I'm not saying to do that, but everybody's different. So I would cram, and that's how I passed. So when I did all these NCLEX reviews, I would study weeks and weeks ahead of time. And by the time it got down to the test, half of the stuff I couldn't remember because I had I would see a question, I'm like, dang, I remember doing a question similar to that, or I remember information similar to that, but I can't remember because it was so long. It was weeks and weeks and weeks ago. So so this time around, I said, you know what, I'm not doing that. I bought UWorld, and literally, no lie, I took 1 week. I took a week off from work. I studied for a week. That's it. I didn't study for all those weeks, months ahead of time. And all I did was questions, and I made myself some notes on lab values. And I believe that was it. Oh, and my isolation precautions, I made little note cards for that. But other than that, I just did questions. I woke up early that morning. I ate breakfast, and I did questions all day. I would take a little break, go outside, get some fresh air, get a little snack, come back in, do questions all day. That's all I did. And when I went in to take my boards, y'all, I prayed, and it's like, it was different. I felt different, honestly. It just felt different. Like, my prayer felt different. I just felt like, this is it. Like, I was so, like, more than any other time, I know I said I was confident all the other times, but this time it was just a feeling like, I got this. I'm about to pass this test. I don't know if it was because of how UWorld system was set up, but I just felt really confident. So I went in, I took my test, and I don't remember how many questions I got. I should know that, but I don't. I took my test, and I came out. I learned about the Pearson Vue Trick. That's when, I'm pretty sure y'all know what it is, but when you're done, you try to register for the test again. Once you put in your credit card information, if it lets you pay for it, then that means you failed. If it doesn't, and it gives you a little thing saying you can't register at this time for whatever reason, then that means you passed, which I had done that a few times before. And let me tell you, it always tried to let me pay for it again. So, y'all, I did it when I got in the car. At first, I told myself, I said, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to wait. But I couldn't. Before I left that parking lot from that test center, I did the Pearson Vue Trick. And, y'all, I got the good pop-up. When I tell y'all, I cried like a baby, but then I kept saying, it's not, maybe this isn't real. You're going to get your hopes up, and then you're going to get the test to your results, and you're going to be them failed, and you celebrating. So I didn't tell her so. I didn't tell my husband about the pop-up. I didn't tell my mom about the pop-up, and I tell them everything. So for me to hold that information, it was hard. So I waited and I waited. I went to work. I was working as an agency CNA at the time, and I remember that day, the day that I was supposed to find out my results. I got up really early. I went in and I looked, my results weren't ready. I was like, God, I gotta go to, I wanted to find out before I went to work, because honestly, had I found out that I passed before I went to work, I was calling in. I was calling in and I was celebrating. But since I had got my results, I was like, man, I gotta go into these people's job. What if my results come later today, I find out I failed, and now I'm gonna be at work crying and sad, like, this is bad. I should have not even scheduled myself for work. And I was like, you know what, bump it, I'm going to work. Went to work all day. I was shaking, like I was nauseous. I was a nervous wreck. I had been talking to my husband. He had been texting, baby, did you get your results yet? I'm like, oh my God, just don't even ask about the test. Don't. So I had been checking, nothing. So right before I went on lunch break, I checked again. I'm like, Lord, please tell me now before I go on break. Nothing. So I remember I went across the street to Steak and Shake. While I was in line, I was ordering my food. I was putting in my information, see if I had my results. And it said my results had came. So now I'm trying to grab my credit card, put in my information. Because, you know, Pearson Vue, they make you pay, what, $7, something like that, to get your results. I'm putting it in, I'm shaking, like, and I'm trying to talk to the lady at the window because she's trying to give me my food and get my card and stuff. I'm like, oh, Jesus. And also, my husband called me. So, on the phone with my husband, I'm trying not to let him know that I'm checking my results, because if it says I failed, I'm not going to tell him right then. I'm going to wait till I get home and tell him. So, I'm on the phone with him. I got him on speakerphone. I'm trying to order my food. I'm trying to put in my information. And I put it in, y'all, and it said I passed. I could not breathe. The lady was giving me, I grabbed my food. I didn't even say thank you. I pulled in the parking spot right there, and I just was like, crying. I couldn't breathe. I was like, I passed. I'm screaming, I passed. And my husband was like, you passed the test? You passed this? I was like, yes, I passed. Y'all, listen. Y'all don't know the joy that I felt. I'm like, Lord, I'm not an RN yet, but at least I'm in a different place. I'm in a much better place. Financially, mentally, I felt like now I'm worth something. Like, when you fail so many times at that, you feel worthless, honestly. Like, you feel bad. I had never felt so low in my life. I was depressed, and you know, people that are around me every day, they would have never known that, because I always have a smile on. I always try to present myself as a positive person. I'm always encouraging others, even while I'm going through what I'm going through. Like, I had a friend who was interested in going to the nursing program. I'm like, hey, if you need help getting in, studying, I'm here to help you. And I just failed 50 tests, and I'm still trying to encourage the next person. You know, you can't be bitter about your situation. You can't let it consume you. You just gotta pick up the pieces and keep going. Try it again. No matter, you know, I had so many people. Somebody came back and told me, oh, you know, so and so were talking about you. They said you're so dumb because you still haven't passed your test. And of course I cried, because I'm a crybaby. It hurt my feelings. But I said, you know what, God, I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna just keep it moving. I just gotta prove, not to everyone else, prove to myself that I'm worthy. Prove to my husband, my children, my mom, that I can do this. I just knew I could. So from 2015, 16, 17, 18, 3 years. That's a long time. So from graduating nursing school until actually becoming a nurse, it took 3 years for me. So if things don't happen for you right away, you just can't give up. And I remember shortly after that, I'm thinking that I'm just about to start work. No, because I got a New York license. I'm not going to New York to work. So I had to apply for a Florida license, and that took forever. I don't remember just how long, but I just knew it took forever. And finally, when I got those license, y'all, in my hand, first they sent me an email saying that it was approved and saying congratulations, you have a Florida license. Y'all, that was the best day of my life. I'm so grateful. I have never been so excited and optimistic about the future. Like, okay, I'm gonna be okay. Like, no more worries. Like, you're gonna do this. So now I'm just mentally trying to prepare myself to take, yeah, you guessed it, the RN NCLEX again. Yeah, but I think I got it. Because honestly, the LPN NCLEX, I don't care what nobody says, it was harder than the RN NCLEX. I don't know how, I don't know why, but I promise you, that test was, and I should know because I took the RN NCLEX 6 times. 6. So when I tell you that LPN was a whole lot harder, and I bet you're wondering, like, how did you not pass the RN and you passed the LPN if it's so much? Because I think it's how I studied, how I prepared myself. UWorld is the bomb. I don't care what nobody say. Use UWorld. And it's not so much as the questions are similar. Like, you're going to do UWorld and then you're going to get on the RN NCLEX and then you're going to be like, oh, boom, these are the same questions. No, it's not that. It's just the way they have their questions is set up just like the NCLEX. It causes you to think. I don't know, it just felt so much more easier after you've done the UWorld type of questions. It's like the same type of thing. Your mind gets to critically thinking. It's awesome. So I just say, if you've went through anything similar to what I've been through, just don't be discouraged. Keep going. Don't listen to people say, oh, if you fail such and such amount of times, you're never going to pass. No, that's not true. And I'm still trusting Jesus right now to help me pass this RN NCLEX, which I haven't even done the application for. I just started a new job, so I'm trying to get, you know, the hang of this, and then soon I'm gonna do my application. I'm gonna go for it again, and I am going to use Euro for that. So if you guys have any questions, put them down below. I'd be more than happy to share them. And have a great day, and thanks for listening to my long story. Thank you. Have a good day.